definition of full-service community school, which is a follow-up from the board retreat discussion this summer.
Yes, so if you recall, during our summer board retreat, we thought that it would be really important for the board to bring forward a definition of full-service community school so that we could engage in the curricular and program development work associated with our partners, our strategy with our partners, and all of the other associated work that we have to do with the ECCL. So in that retreat, we discussed the nature of our relationship with the city. We discussed the services that are being supported in the ECCL project. And at that time, we started fleshing out a sort of a straw design for a definition of full-service community schools. At that time, we also asked Trustee Affelt to work with staff on pulling together drafting a final definition that we would bring forward to the board so that we could begin the programmatic work. So that has been done, and he worked with staff on a series of iterations of this description that you have before you, this definition that you have before you. And the definition reads, Emeryville's full-service community school strategy is one that organizes the resources of the school and community to support both the academic success and social and emotional well-being of its students and the education, well-being, and civic bonds of the surrounding community. So what we're asking you to do tonight is to have a conversation about this, and maybe Trustee Affelt wants to describe how he, the process for coming up with this, as I just mentioned, and we'd like to request your approval and your input on this final definition.
So I would just add that the definition isn't, built from scratch. It's based on work that others have done across the country, working on full-service community schools, and Roy and I went back and forth on this, and it started off talking about how Emeryville's full-service community school is. And then, it evolved to realizing that we didn't want to get people hung up on the school as a building. Mm-hmm. So, thus, it evolved to recognizing that we're really describing a strategy, mm-hmm. that we have a full-service community strategy. And it's not just our districts, it's our district and our city. Mm-hmm. So, and it is a strategy that is organizing the resources of our district and of the city, this community, and whatever community resources the community can bring. And we're really, have a dual focus. We're building this full-service community school so that our students will be successful academically, but also we're supporting their emotional and social well-being. And we talked about some of that earlier tonight with our fall sports presentation, for example. And at the same time, and I think that is somewhat, it's not always the case that a full-service community school strategy is also focused on community building, but ours is in our relationship with the city and trying to fulfill the city's goals. So we are building and working for the success of our students, but we're also building and working for the broader success of the community, and the sorts of things we're doing there in the long term we hope will include the sort of additional job training or access to additional lifelong learning experiences for our community, and also their wellness, and also through all the library and public space sharing and community center and sports fields and all the other cafe, the things that we're planning to build and deliver, we also think will be ultimately strengthening the civic bonds of the whole community. So in one sentence, we tried to capture all that.
Questions, Member Nguyen?
Well, I just got one observation you guys can help me with. So when it says a little later on in the phrase, resources of the school and community to support both the academic success and social and emotional well-being of its students, and then we come with the conjunction and the education. I guess my only question, is education modifying academic success, or are we kind of repeating that, is that repeating what we already, is education already repeating what we said in academic success?
Yeah, so the both is trying to say, we got the students on the one hand,
Okay.
and that's a sort of a two-part mission,
Okay.
academic success and social emotional well-being.
Right.
And then on the other hand, we have the community.
Okay,
And the community, we also have education goals
right.
and well-being goals and general civic bond-building goals.
I'm
So
with that.
that's the, I mean, it could more explicitly say the dual purposes, to support the dual purposes of, or I mean,
Well, no, I'm
like
fine.
this one.
I couldn't, yeah.
I'm fine with it, but now since you said this education is really referring to the community, is there a way that we could kind of highlight that education means community, or referring to community, the community? I'm just asking. If it's not, it's not.
Well, I see it as that, but
You do?
yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm fine.
Well, I mean, you could move up, we could leave it as it is, which is one
Okay.
option. Or you could, I guess, say, to support both the academic success and social and emotional well-being of its students and the surrounding community's education, well-being, and civic bonds.
Hey, that's why you get paid the big bucks for being lawyer. Come up with the verbiage.
Can you repeat that?
Okay, because wait, I'm like, huh?
So I moved the surrounding community up to after and.
The clause
Yeah, so
after
so well-being of its students
and the surrounding.
and, right, the surrounding communities, apostrophe S, then delete the in front of education. And the surrounding communities, education, well-being, and civic bonds,
Right.
period.
Now, Trustee Affeth, there was one other thought that emerged in this, particularly in light of the increase in our scholar athletes, and that was the idea of adding social, emotional, and physical well-being. And so I don't know if that's something, it was a comment that came in, and I wanted to make sure that
I'm
the
good with that.
board got that, to consider that.
I appreciate it not only for the athletic side, but also it ties in with health, with childhood obesity, that's a physical need. There's, it's not, my
I'm
vote
with
is
that.
to yes.
So
add the-
add that word?
Yeah.
Okay, so it'll be
Okay.
success
good
and
with that.
social, emotional, and physical well-being.
And I think the second well-being doesn't say it explicitly, but sort of like incorporates
The whole.
the prior definition of well-being,
Got it.
Yeah,
that
the
makes
community
sense.
well-being is kind of understood. Yeah, that
Yeah, that
same
makes sense.
social, emotional, physical well-being in the community. I think
So-
it works.
No, so I think it's great. So I guess my question to staff, I mean, are you all satisfied? Do you see this as the real definition of full-service community, the way, staff talks about it and, yeah,
The tool needed.
right.
So we're very satisfied with the definition, and our the process and conversation. I think what was really important for staff is for us to have a board that is all in one accord with the definition, so that as we go about the business of doing the work, and particularly the programmatic and curricular work, that as it is introduced and pushed out to the school community, writ large, that everyone really understands the vision and purpose behind it from a high-level perspective. So we're satisfied with this.
So based on the definition, this is the kind of work that staff is
Yes,
doing.
yes.
Well, I just want to add that I think strategy is very fitting. So I do like how that positions. It's not just the definition; it's the work. It's what
Yeah, I
is.
remember that, yeah.
And I think that's really well done. That it's strategy and not just a term or a phrase that is.
It's a means.
Yeah.
And it's
it's
denotes an
directional.
ongoing
Yeah.
active process.
Yeah, directional. I mean, this is where it's going.
Yeah, good job,
Social
boss.
justice. Architect. I'm gonna mess those words up. But that's it. I mean, it really speaks to the effort. So I appreciate that. It'd be great to put that on our website. That's our tag for the board. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
But it'd be great to publish that for when I forget, I can go. This is what we owned.
That's
So I
exactly
think
right.
it's
It's
important.
part of
Well, I
messaging.
think if we're going to consider ourselves a full-service community school, this needs to be on the website. This needs to be our motto.
Well, our motto.
Yeah.
We're working toward it.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is,
working
at least
on
for
So
the district,
let's take
consistent-
action on that, so we
Yes.
can then decide how
So
we're going
as
to communicate
amended,
this out.
I move approval of that. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Any objections? And we now have that in place, and thank you, Member Affelt, Vice President Affelt, and staff for working diligently to get that and have that in place for staff as they requested. So that's great. It takes us further than we thought. I mean, we had in mind. So I think that's great.
Yeah, have we shared this even informally with the city or city staff? If we haven't, obviously we
When
should
we
float
were,
this by them somehow.
when we've been in the joint occupancy conversations regarding MOU 3, we've talked about it a lot like this.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
think that it's, but in terms of the actual definition
anticipate
itself, no.
they'll be in accord, because they've talked about it like this.
Right. We can certainly take it to
Yeah.
city
Just
schools
let them know.
in January.
Yeah, just let them know this is how we've defined and how we're expressing it on our website, our full-service community school strategy, and at least let them respond, react, applaud, whatever,
Be good one to
as
share-
appropriate.
Share a city school. Huh?
Yeah, I think we should take it to city
Okay.
schools.
Great.
I agree.
So, well, now moving on to item